people, is it worth it putting us at risk?
Yes, it is worth it.
Let them out!
It is worth it.
Excuse me, sir, we're not putting you at risk, we're keeping our social distance.
Everyone at risk?
We're not putting everyone in risk.
How do I know any of you have been in contact?
How do I know you have been in
Just stop.
You cancel the visit.
Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Let them out!
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 End detention now!
And detention now!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Brothers and
This will be about the right size for people who have been.
Let them out!
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 Free the refugees! Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees! Obey the Refugee Convention.
No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention.
No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention. No more detention. Obey the Refugee Convention.
No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention.
No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention!
No more detention.
Obey
The Refugee Convention. No more detention. Obey the Refugee Convention. No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention. No more detention.
Obey the Refugee Convention. No more detention. Obey the Refugee Convention. No more detention. Obey the Refugee Convention.
Free the refugees! Justice for refugees! End detention now!
Detention now.
End detention now!
Detention now.
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees.
Let them out! Let them out!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Human rights for all private property.
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
Justice for refugees! Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
End detention now!
Detention now!
End detention now!
Detention now!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
End detention now!
Detention now!
End detention now!
Detention now!
Let them out! Let them out! Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
End detention now!
Detention now!
Let them out!
Let them out!
Justice for refugees!
Justice for refugees!
Free the refugees!
Free the refugees!
Justice for refugees!
The government is accusing Iran of being a dictatorship, as some third world countries. Iranian government released most of the criminals. These people are not criminals. Some of them committed some crimes before. They paid for their crimes, and the government is looking them here indefinitely with many refugees that the government thinks for adverse information from ASIO, which is all secret, that they are dangerous on the community. If the coronavirus will reach this compound, all of these people will be infected with the guards and all the workers inside the detention centers. And this is why we appeal to the government for the common sense. Common sense is release these people. They will not go anywhere. We are an island that is in lockdown, so they can't run away to any other place. With this media reported yesterday, there is one isolated here who showed some symptoms, and we think that he might have the coronavirus. He was isolated. There is another one in another compound. There is 2 people who were isolated 2 days ago, and we have Angie. She saw, while she was visiting her husband, she saw this happening.
Yeah, anyway, I saw the police coming, everyone was coming, guards were coming in the front and centre. We were sitting just in there, I was having a cigarette. We asked the guards what's going on, nothing to worry about, nothing to worry about. Couple with masks, couple not. Anyway, they open these gates here and they come ushering in. They don't go through there, they go straight through the back here, out the back. They grab 2 guys, bring them back. One of the security guards turns around and he goes, they've got to go straight to quarantine now, down at the main. They've been pulled from the main, put up here in isolation into a place called, they said, the annex, and then transferred down there, which the Iraqian was one of the guys' photos, to the ambulance yesterday.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame on you all.
And you're having our husbands, fathers, brothers, uncles, whatever, locked up in here.
Again,
Think it was one of your family members.
The doctors, all the professionals are appealing to the government to release all the detainees, because this is a ticking bomb. Yeah. If one will catch the coronavirus, and we have doctors here, I have medical background and I know.
We have nurses here.
We have nurses, doctors. We're all concerned. If one case is confirmed here, it's a disaster. The whole community of these detention centers will be infected with deadly consequences. The hostages, these people are hostages. The government is taking these people as hostages for the next election, and we will come here time after time. We have been protesting outside the minister's office for about 30 weeks without successfully seeing the minister. But we will come here as many weeks as it needs to raise the awareness about the disaster that could happen any minute inside these detention centers. And we thank everybody for coming here. Yes.
If anyone is in any doubt about, and this includes the guards, if anyone has any doubt about the danger this place represents, you may not care about human rights or any of that garbage, you may not care. But listen to Democracy Now! From the United States that was broadcast the day before yesterday. It was on yesterday, so it's the 25th day, 23rd. Democracy Now! ! From the United States. The former head of ICE in the United States says, which is their way of locking up refugees, says they must close for health reasons. The former head of the organisation. If you're in any doubt, get it from the United States, where they've been locking up innocent people a lot longer than we have. Listen to it. Amy Goodman, Democracy Now!, the former head of ICE. Just when you go home, just Google it. Democracy Now! ! From the day before, recorded the day before yesterday, which is the 23rd.
So once again, thank you for everyone that's joined us on social media. Thank you to all our fellow Australians here that have come out. We're here in support of these asylum seekers that have been detained, some for 10 years now across Australia. And now they're facing this public health emergency in terms of the COVID pandemic. on top of the public health emergency that exists as a result of indefinite prolonged detention that has already impacted their mental and physical health. We know of those impacts already. Many of these men and women have chronic illnesses, chronic diseases, as well as significant mental health conditions, and this is only going to be further exacerbated on top of the risk from this infection itself. And that's the grounds on which we need the government to take urgent action. Follow suit with other countries around the world, like the United Kingdom, in releasing detainees into the community. With their family, with their friends, with their advocates that are all ready and waiting to have them safely isolated at home and detained if need be. These men and women, these asylum seekers have committed no crimes and they have been detained for such prolonged periods, and now we are putting their public health further at risk because of this. So it's important that we do not forget their plight, because it's their health that is further being put at risk by our government's inhumane policies. We've seen the positive cases from guards already in Brisbane, so this is a very real issue. This is not something we're imagining, and we're seeing such draconian measures across the country. And we don't choose to be here, as I said before. We're here because we don't want the plight of these asylum seekers to be forgotten, and we have tried our utmost best to respect all the public health measures put in place by the government with respect to social distancing and cough hygiene. But that will only go so far, and the men and women inside these centres, they don't have that luxury. They live in cramped conditions, sleeping 4 or 5 to a room, dining together up to 100 in a room, and it's still not clear what the conditions, what supports in terms of social distancing and infection control are in place. The peak bodies, the Infectious Disease, Australasian Infectious Diseases Society, the peak body for infection